Good evening, everyone. Will the Standing Committee on Legislative Affairs please come to order? Our first item of business is the election of a chairperson. Are there any nominations? MLA Sandhu.
MLA Kennedy.
MLA Kennedy has been nominated as chairperson. Any other nominations? Hearing none. MLA Kennedy, please take the chair.
Our next item of business is the election of a vice chairperson. Are there any nominations? Sorry, MLA Moise.
I nominate MLA Sandhu.
Thank you.
Okay. Sandhu has been nominated.
MLA Sandhu has been nominated. Are there any other nominations? Okay, hearing no other nominations, MLA Sandhu is elected vice chairperson. I would like to inform the committee that under our Rule 85-2, the following membership substitution has been made for this committee effective immediately. Mr. King for Mr. Ginter. Thank you. This meeting has been called to order to consider the following bills. Bill number 13, the Emergency Medical Response and Stretcher Transportation Amendment Act. Bill number 22, the Celebration of Nigerian Independence Day Act, Commemoration of Days, Weeks, and Months Act amended. And Bill number 23, the Change of Name Amendment Act number 2. I would like to inform all in attendance of the provisions in our rules regarding the hour of adjournment. A standing committee meeting to consider a bill must not sit past midnight to hear public presentations or to consider clause by clause of a bill, except by unanimous consent of the committee. Prior to proceeding with public presentations, I would like to advise members of the public regarding the process for speaking in a committee. In accordance with our rules, a time limit of 10 minutes has been allotted for presentations, with another 5 minutes allowed for questions from committee members. Questions shall not exceed 30 seconds in length, with no time limit for answers. Questions may be addressed to presenters in the following rotation. First, the minister sponsoring the bill. Second, a member of the official opposition. And third, an independent member. If a presenter is not in attendance when their name is called, they will be dropped to the bottom of the list. If the presenter is not in attendance when their name is called a second time, they will be removed from the presenters list. The proceedings of our meetings are recorded in order to provide a verbatim transcript. Each time someone wishes to speak, whether it be an MLA or a presenter, I first have to say the person's name. This is the signal for the Hansard recorder to turn the mics on and off. On the topic of determining the order of public presentations, I will note that we do have out-of-town presenters in attendance, marked with an asterisk on the list. With these considerations in mind, in what order does the committee wish to hear the presentations? Minister Asaquera?
Thank you. I would ask that the first speaker be Mrs. Vera Kiede. The second speaker be, I apologize, number 5. Second speaker would be number 4, Dr. Lana Adule Aluse. Third speaker would be number 2 on the list, Reverend Wilson Akinwale. Fourth speaker, number 8 on the list, Dr. Edward Onyebuchi. And then open beyond that.
It has been suggested that we hear them in this order, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then go through the list of the rest of the order. Is it?
It has been suggested that we hear presenters in the following order. Number 1, Mrs. Vera Kiedi. Number 2, Dr. Lana Edeli Aluese. Number 3, Reverend Wilson Akinwal. And number 4, Dr. Edward Onibunchi.
And then the
And
rest.
then we will continue with the rest of the list.
Is that agreed?
Is that agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you.
So, next page. Thank you for your patience.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for your patience. We will now proceed with public presentations.
We will now, next page. I will now call on.
I will now call on Mrs. Vera Chiedi.
You may need to correct again, correct the pronouns. People will misgender me probably, so just flagging that for you.
I will.
Oh, 1 second.
Good evening. I would like to invite,
No, she's there. She's there.
yes,
Mrs. Key.
there,
Please
thank you.
proceed with-
Please proceed with your presentation, Mrs. Vera Chiedi.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Vera Obehikayede. I'm the president of the Nigerian Association of Manitoba, Inc., the honorable members of Manitoba Standing Committee, and my fellow Nigerians. Today, I stand here to advocate for the passage of the Earth that Transit Border, B22, celebration of Nigerian independence here in Manitoba, Canada. Our presentation today not only reflects the importance of Nigeria's journey towards sovereignty, but also our shared value of self-determination and resilience. In an interconnected world, the struggle and triumph of Nigerian people resonates globally, and especially in Manitoba, where more than 10,000 Nigerians have called home. Manitoba, with its commitment to democracy, culture and traditional values, economic growth, stand in solidarity with nations seeking to establish their solidarity. And that is why we are all bold to call Manitoba home. And we call this building the Legislative Building, the People's Building, a place where all is welcomed. Enacting the Nigerian Independence Act in Manitoba will serve as a testament to our belief of universal principle of self-governance and freedom. Nigerian path to independence from colonial rule in 1960 is the story of resilience and determination. However, the story to full liberty continues, requiring steadfast support from global community like Manitoba. I must state here that I'm extremely proud to be a Manitoban. As Manitoba will be the first province in Canada to enact this act to recognize Nigerian independence. This is what's celebrating. This is a stand that all of us Nigerians, you can see we are all here. There are some people downstairs. If you have room, trust me, we'll fill this place to tell you how important this is to us and to our community, and how proud the Nigerian community is, just hearing about this. Enacting the Nigerian Independence Celebration Act acknowledge and honors the sacrifice made by people of Manitoba, of Nigeria here in Manitoba, and recognize their contribution to the economic growth of the province. We have Nigerians in all spheres of professional skill and have excelled in every profession, from healthcare. We have numbers of doctors and a growing number of nurses, healthcare aid. We have technocrats, engineers of various skills, IT professionals, HR, accountants, supply chain professionals, law enforcement. We have Nigerians as police correctional officer. I'm proud to say my husband has been with the correctional officer in Manitoba for over 15 years. we have administrative, we have security guard, name it, and Nigerians. And I won't forget professors, teachers, and even politicians. I won't forget to mention our very own, sitting right there before you, Minister Asagwara. That is how much Nigerians have worked hard in this province and been established in this province. And that's in the Nigerian Independent Arts in Manitoba. We further foster our cultural understanding and appreciation. Nigeria is a country of diverse and beautiful culture and traditions from different geopolitical regions of our country. Manitoba will benefit greatly from this diverse cultural and traditional heritage of the Nigerian people. And that's in the arts. Well, in Manitoba, we promote this cultural heritage, beautiful, diverse cultural heritage of the Nigerian people, and strengthen the relationship between our communities. Just to mention, we had our first cultural celebration last year, and it was beautiful, seeing people from all over come to celebrate with the Nigerian people. And that the Independent Arts symbolizes commitment to global solidarity and unity. This will send a powerful message of support to all Nigerians in Manitoba, and this support to a striving self-governance, independence, and we encourage every Manitoba, every Nigerian living in Manitoba to continue to strive for the best and contribute their quota to the development and growth of our dear province. In conclusion, the announcement of the celebration of Nigerian Independence Day Arts in Manitoba transcends legalities. It is an affirmation of our shared values and aspiration. It is a recognition of strength, struggle, success, vigor, triumph of the Nigerian people in Manitoba. Today, we will continue to uphold the principle of freedom and democracy that form the bedrock of our shared humanity. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your moving presentation. Do members of the committee have questions for the presenter, Minister Asagwara?
I don't have any questions. I just want to say thank you so much, President Vera, for being here today and for sharing such a powerful statement with everybody here and for being an incredible representative for our community across the province. Your advocacy is greatly valued, and thank you for making the time to be here today. Truly appreciate you.
Sorry. I will give you an opportunity to respond if you so choose.
Sorry?
Mrs. Kiede?
Yes.
You're able to respond to the minister's comment?
Yeah,
You don't have to.
yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you for appreciating it. Yeah. Okay, fine. Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry, MLA Legacy?
I'd like to thank you also for your presentation tonight. The wonderful part about this job is I learned so much, and I quite appreciate learning about every culture and everything that, you know, is out there. You talked about celebrating. How do you see this celebration? Like, what do you see in the future?
Oh, sorry, one moment. I need to recognize you for Hansard. Ms. Kiede?
Yes.
Please.
The celebration of the Nigerian independence is going to further boost our, I won't say ego, it's going to further establish us as people here, knowing the fact that we are being recognized, or we are recognized by the Manitoba government, is a way to encourage people to push harder, is a way to encourage people, to tell them that, look, indeed, what the NDP government, what the government is saying is what you're doing. This is the people's building. This is showing us that we are accepted. We are part of the people, and that will further, solidify, the unity within the community in Manitoba.
Thank you so much.
Any more questions?
Any more questions? No? Thank you, Mrs. Kiede.
Thank you.
I will now call on Dr. Lana Adeli Aluse. Thank you.
Ready? Okay,
Thank you. Sorry, please proceed with your presentation.
it's my pleasure to be here today to speak in support of what our president has spoken. I want to thank the committee for this opportunity. I also want to thank the Minister, Honorable Zoma Asagwara, for sponsoring this bill. Nigerians started coming to Manitoba as international students on Commonwealth and private sponsorship in the early 1960s. Many of them went back to Nigeria, including my late uncle, who studied in Brandon. Although we are called newcomer communities, but we've been here for a long time. Some immigrated into Manitoba in the 1970s as professionals. Now, when you look at our population, it has grown considerably in the last couple of decades. Based on the 2021 census, Africans in Manitoba, there are 27,150. But I can assure you that out of every 10 Africans that you see, 3 of them are Nigerians, because the census tells us that we're 8,550. And it broke us down in our languages, because I want to appreciate that although we are all Nigerians, we speak different languages. And we have about 525 languages in Nigeria. But those of us that are here in Manitoba, those who speak the language of Edo, there are about 255. This is census. Fufude in the north, in Nigeria, 160. The Igbos in the southeast, where our honorable minister comes from, there are about 1,680. And I'm from the Yoruba in the southwest, we are about 6,075. Others about 380. For you to know that we will continue to grow, in the top 4 source countries for immigration, after India, China, and the Philippines, Nigeria. In the top 3 source countries for study permits, we are next to India and China. There are about 28,000 international students in Manitoba. By my estimate, between 10 to 15,000 are Nigerians, so you're talking about 2,800 and 4,200. So when you add that to 8,500, you know my president is not wrong in saying we're over 10,000. Nigerians have contributed so much to the rich mosaic of Manitoba. And I want to speak to the fact that if you look at the alphabet, A to Z, I'm going to attempt to read to you all the professions that I, limited in my knowledge, knows about Nigerians. They are accountants, architects, auditors, that's for A, bankers, barbers, business analysts, carpenters for C, chef, childcare assistants, correction officer, cooks, dentists, document clerk, directors in public, private, and not-for-profit organizations, engineers, early childhood educators, football player, Israel Donije, in case you don't know, financial analysts, financial managers, geologists, graphic designers, hairdressers and stylists, healthcare workers, human resource professionals, I'm one of them, information technology specialists, instructors in our colleges, journalists, kitchen assistants, lawyers, managers, management consultants, military officers, musicians, news reporters, nurses, opticians, optometrists, paralegal clerks, paramedic, pharmacists, photographers, physicians, police officers, politicians, professors, project management professionals, psychiatrists, psychologists, psychotherapists, quantity surveyors, realtors, retail workers, social workers, software developers, supply chain management professionals, surgeons, teachers in high school, teaching assistants, underwriters, ultrasonographers, vet doctors, waiters, web developers, writers, Xerox machine technicians, youth pastors, zoologists. A to Z. Now, not only in employment, when it comes to business, we are artists, we have studios around, we have barbering salons, we have churches, we have consultants, we have dental clinics, we have event management firms, we have fashion design businesses, we have hairdressing salons, information technology firms. We serve newcomer agencies. We have medical corporations, we have our mosque, we have photography studios, we have real estate investors, we have restaurants, we have retail shops, we also run co-working space in downtown Manitoba, in Winnipeg. We also run taxi cabs. We also have vet clinics. Now, when you talk about leadership, there are members who are leading professional associations. Institute of Certified Management Consultants, we have them on the council. And by the grace of God, I'm the chair of the Charter Professionals in Human Resources in Manitoba. We have some of them who are volunteers in Project Management Institute. Please note, I'm speaking of only my experience. So if you heard me use singular, it's because I only know one. Many of these people know more than me. When you look at the agencies, boards, and commissions in Manitoba, we have at least 14 of us on those boards. Some of us are running not-for-profit and charitable organizations. Some of us are on the board of credit unions. Some of us are members of the local unions where we work. This bill, when passed, will acknowledge our contributions over half a century to Manitoba, and it will cement Manitoba as a home in the minds of Nigerians. It will challenge us to continue to contribute and invest in Manitoba as our home. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your presentation. If I can just remind members of the audience and everyone in the room, we stand on formalities, so a very gentle reminder that we're not able to applaud or engage with the presenter in any way. So again, I thank you so much for your presentation. Do members of the committee have questions for the presenter? Minister Asseguara?
Just want to say thank you so much for your presentation. That was very educational, very informative, and I also appreciate very much the personal history that you shared in terms of your family and your ties to Manitoba that are very long-standing. So thank you so much for presenting today and for your leadership in community.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, I need to just recognize you before you respond. My apologies there. Dr. Uluse?
Okay. I just want to thank the Honorable Minister once again. It's an honor for what she has done to the country. And,
Sorry, can I just remind the presenter and folks in the room that the pronouns for Minister Asseguara are they, them. Thank you.
Yeah.
Please continue.
Thank you very much. So I'm very appreciative of what they have done, and I'm always very appreciative, and that's one of the reasons I decided to come today. We are very grateful for everything.
Wonderful, thank you. Any other members? Okay, MLA King?
Yeah, Dr. Aluse, I say that right?
Yeah, okay.
Quite close, yeah. No, I too want to thank you for your comments and your education to me and all the points and all the great work that you did in the alphabet there. That was awesome, telling us what jobs and what careers there are in the Nigerian community. So I just wanted to thank you, put that on record. Thank you very much.
Dr. Aluse?
Thank you very much for what you have shared. It's a great opportunity to be able to talk about our nation.
Thank you. Are there any other questions from the committee? No? Wonderful. Thank you, Doctor, for your presentation. I will now call on Reverend Wilson Akinwale. Akinwale? Wonderful. Please proceed with your presentation.
Good evening, Chairperson, members of the community, and the Honorable Minister Asseguara. My name is Wilson Akinwale. I'm the immediate past president of the Nigerian Association of Manitoba, and the ex-official, as well as a member of the Board of Directors, African Communities in Manitoba, ACOME. It is with a grateful and humble heart, great honor and privilege to present my speech to you this evening on behalf of our community. I strongly believe that the time is right to speak to Bill 22 that recognizes the celebration of Nigerian Independence Day Act in Manitoba. For several decades, in the province of Manitoba, the Nigerian community has dynamically been able to distinguish itself among Committee of Nations by helping to build strong alliances across various networks in Canada, including friendship and partnership with the indigenous peoples of this land, and our advocacy that add values which embody freedom, unity, and resilience, which are integral parts of our community's identity. As a community, we are grateful for the honor and privilege to live, work, serve, meet people, and raise our families here. We are also committed to the truth and reconciliation of all people of this land. And we acknowledge Manitoba as our home, as we, I quote now, reside on the traditional lands and territories of indigenous peoples and appreciate the welcome we have received from those who we believe have a shared experience of colonization, unquote, like us. For this reason, we ensure that our community is well positioned to meet the needs and demands of our province in various sectors of the economy, which my other colleagues have mentioned. As you might have observed, we are strong allies in building local businesses in this province as our economy continues to grow. Nigerian Manitobans are flourishing in creating job opportunities as entrepreneurs, and our Nigerian professionals are strategically positioned in every facet of the economy with impactful presence. From health and safety sector to education and academia, arts, sports, and culture to a very active and well-represented and inclusive roles in politics in this province. The evidence is clear. We remain primus inter pares, which means we are first among equals in socio-economic and political advancement in Manitoba. We are confidently emerging as one of Canada's most successful immigrant communities as we add value wherever we go. Nigeria is often called the giant of Africa. This name comes from the vastness of its land, the diversity of its peoples and languages, its huge population of over 229 million people, the largest in Africa, and in Manitoba, with a fast-growing population of over 10,000 Nigerians, we are people steeped in eternal optimism, spirituality, confidence, tenacity, resilience, determination, and hard work. Nigerian Manitobans are flourishing in contributing to the development and progress of communities in various cities and provincial boards, agencies, and commissions, and are actively participating in the political process in Manitoba. We are breaking new grounds with various institutions across Manitoba in community partnership and developments with all people of this land. With recent successful cultural exchange program, first of its kind in this province, we have worked assiduously more than ever before to ensure diverse cultures of the Nigerian population are well represented through various multicultural expression in exchange with other international performances from our community partners. Our youth have continued to make us proud in sports, and our citizenship diplomacy has been well articulated with exceptional improvement from the grassroots in this province to the national level between the government of Manitoba, Canada, and Nigeria. Lastly, as the most populous Black nation in the world, data shows that Nigeria is the largest economy in Africa, with a GDP of $477.38 billion, with its expansive population and rich endowment of natural resources, particularly oil, Nigeria harbors the potential to ascend as one of the most foremost global economies. To consolidate on this, our voice and our representation here in the decision-making process, our strong community engagement with all stakeholders in this province, if we are given the chance to celebrate our stake, we enhance our remarkable and impactful presence in the province of Manitoba. And with strong bond and solidarity with all peoples of this province, we stand together as one community, one voice, one aspiration, with shared hope for a brighter future of one Manitoba we all nurture together. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much for that very inspirational presentation. Do members of the committee have any questions? Minister Asaguara?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Reverend Wilson Ekinwale. You're such a powerful, powerful speaker and such a powerful, powerful person with such a kind and generous heart and spirit. And thank you so much for presenting today and for ending on such an important note. You know, you talked about reconciliation, and you acknowledged the lands that we are on as Manitobans, as Nigerians here, which I thought was really important, and I really want to thank you for that. I got goosebumps, though, at the end of your remarks. That was something else. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing, presenting, and for being such an important voice, not just for the Nigerian community, but for the Manitoban community.
Thank you. You're welcome to respond.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. And if I can just share with members of, these are copies of our last independence anniversary, which will tell you more stories about our community, about our people in Manitoba. I have this copy free for the members of the committee to go around. And if you need more copies, we can get them for you. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you. Are there any other, MLA Lagacé?
Thank you for your presentation. Again, like I mentioned earlier, it's fantastic to learn more and more, and you made it definitely entertaining and energetic. I could feel it. So thank you so much for being here tonight to present.
You may respond.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Any other questions from the committee? No? Wonderful. Thank you so much, Reverend. I will now call upon Dr. Edward Onebuchi. Please. Oh, sorry. Please proceed with your presentation.
Huh? Okay. I will begin. I would like to acknowledge that I reside within the Treaty 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 territories, and that Manitoba is located in the Ashina-Berg, Ashina-Niwak, Dakota, Iota, Dennis, Bland, and Netla nations. I will, okay. I'm the founding member, one of the founding members of the Nigerian Association of Manitoba, and I served also as the president of Nigerian Association for many years. I'm also the founding member of African Communities of Manitoba, Inc., and I served in that association as the treasurer for many years. I'm also the founding member of the Nigerian Professionals of Manitoba, Inc., and I'm also the founding member of Omona Igbo Cultural Association of Manitoba, Inc., that I served for many years as the president. I'm not representing any of these associations per se tonight. I want to speak to this bill from my own personal experience. I grew up in the colonial and post-colonial Nigeria. When I was a kid in the primary school in Nigeria, one of the subjects we were taught in the primary school was English, but my native language, Igbo, was not one of the subjects taught in the school. By the age of 12, I was sent to a boarding school. In the boarding school, I was not allowed to speak English. If I speak English, I was not allowed to speak Igbo. If I spoke Igbo in the boarding school, I was punished. I was taught the history, the European history, the British history, the geography of Canada, the Rocky Mountains, the lakes of Manitoba, the pale raised, the winterlands, but I knew nothing about the geography of Nigeria, the geography of Africa, or the geography of some of the things in my own environment. So my knowledge was just abstract. Yes, I am educated, I have a PhD, I can speak English fluently, I can write English fluently, but I cannot write my native language, Igbo, fluently. So I'm saying all this to let you know that colonization had a big impact on me, and the independence meant a lot to me, and I think to other fellow Nigerians. So this legislation is absolutely very important to someone like me, and I believe to some other Nigerians. As has been said already, Nigerians in Manitoba have distinguished themselves in many industries, including technology, university, academics, healthcare, financial services, just to name few. I can say categorically clear that Nigerians are the ones sustaining the healthcare system, what do they call it again? Healthcare sector here, because most of them are working in that area. I myself, I have worked for Manitoba government as senior policy advisor with the Department of Environment, Sustainable Coordination Unit, and so on, before joining Manitoba Hydro, where I worked as senior economic consultant for many years. In that process, when I was working for Manitoba also, I was able to go and represent Manitoba International in Liberia, in China, in Saudi Arabia. So that's an example of the contributions I say the Nigerians have made to Manitoba so far. Manitoba ranks as the third province in terms of the large population of Nigerians in Canada. I think Ontario has the largest number of Nigerians, followed by Alberta, and then followed by Manitoba. To see that Manitoba is the one also trying to take the lead of putting forward this type of legislation is something that makes all of us very proud. I would also say that this bill has no risk to Manitoba, politically, financially, or this bill has no risk to Manitoba socially, politically, or financially. In fact, on the contrary, this bill will put Manitoba in a very high level globally as the province, the first province that is putting this legislation into place. So I want to thank you all for putting forward this legislation, and as I said, it has no risk financially or anything to Manitoba or anybody else. Rather, it's an opportunity for us to continue to celebrate with Manitobans the Nigerian independence. We have been celebrating this before, we've been celebrating it, but now we are going to put it in the legislation. We're going to make it, we're going to be recognized, now as something that we all Manitobans can also help to share with us. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your presentation. I pardon me. Yes. Do Minister have a question?
Yeah.
Sorry. Minister Asakwara.
Dr. Onyebuchi, thank you so much for presenting this evening. Thank you for sharing your own personal experiences with pre-colonization, colonization and post-colonization in Nigeria. I think that's a really, really important story to tell. And the parallels here in Canada obviously are very obvious. And so thank you for all of your leadership. I realized, but I didn't until you shared it all. You've worn many hats as a leader in the community. So we thank you for your decades of commitment to the province moving in the direction it needs to. And thank you for presenting this evening.
Oh, sorry, I just need to recognize you. Doctor, you're able to respond.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. I will say that it's not just a minister, it's my child, because I grew up with, I knew when she was born in Winnipeg here, and I thought I was in the hospital.
Point of order, Point of order, please.
No, you just say order. You just say order.
Order. I just want to remind the presenter and everyone in the room that the pronouns for Minister Asakwara are they, them.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please go ahead with your response.
Okay, so thank you so much, and I'm very, very proud of Honorable Uzoma, and thank you so much. We are very proud of what you are doing, and keep doing it. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Are there other questions? Okay. MLA King?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and Dr. Onyebuchi, I hope I said that right. Thank you for your comments, your presentation, and thank you for your service to the community and your association. It sounds like you've played a big role in that, so I just want to congratulate you on that and thank you, and thanks for being here tonight.
I'll recognize you. You can respond, Doctor. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I will now go through the list to see if there are other presenters available. And may I just say I apologize if I am pronouncing anyone's name wrong. My sincere apologies. I will call Mrs. Edetu. Mrs. Edetu. She will move to the bottom of the list. Next person is Mrs. Ajbaji? No? Abaje? Okay, Abaje. That person will move to the bottom of the list. Moving on, I will call for Ms. Onimanu. Ms. Onimanu? Okay, that person will move to the bottom of the list. I have the next person as Mr. Ogunmola. Nope, we'll move to the bottom of the list. Next person I'm calling is Adelola Abioi. No? Okay, I will move that person to the bottom of the list. Oh, pardon me. Sorry, do I have Adelola Abioi? Oh, you don't have to present if you don't want to. Thank you. Okay, we'll move to the next person. Mr. Aroma Sudu? Nope, Mr. Aroma Sudu? We'll move to the bottom of the list. The next person is Mr. Fatimehen? Okay, thank you. The next person is Babatundi Busari. Okay, you don't have to present if you don't want. Or would you like to present? Okay, thank you. Please go ahead with your presentation. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. We are very excited to be here today. For the committee, we appreciate what Manitoba is given to us. Some of us that came as professionals, we really appreciate what Manitoba has given to us. And as a Nigerian, the only way we can also appreciate is for this bill to pass, so that some of the young ones that we're growing in Manitoba today, we have something to look forward to. The Honorable Minister and everybody on this table, the Nigerians in Manitoba are today appreciating most of the things that is going on. The development that we're having, the education that the children are having, and the opportunity for some of us to work in the sectors that we want to work as a professional. So this bill is also going to add to the value that every one of us is looking forward to. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Does anyone wish to respond or ask questions? Minister Asagwara?
Just want to say thank you, Mr. Busari, for being here this evening, for taking time to share, and for speaking so eloquently on the importance of the bill to you. Thank you.
Mr. Busari, you can respond if you like.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, and we really appreciate your effort in the community. Thank you.
Does anyone else have any? Okay, Ms. MLA Lagase?
I'd also like to thank you for your presentation this evening. And as I'm watching the room and everything that's going on, I'm humbled by the fact that we get to be part of history. And sometimes I think we forget as MLAs that we're part of things that make a difference to people. So thank you for your presentation this evening.
Mr. Busari, you can respond.
Thank you so much, and we really appreciate you and the committee. Thank you.
Are there any other questions? No? Thank you so much, Mr. Busari. The next person that is on the list here that I will call is Reverend Sunday Olukuju. Reverend Olukuju. Okay, that person will move to the bottom of the list. Next person is Kenny Deodu. Kenny Deodu. No? Okay, that person will move to the bottom of the list. The next person is Ms. Obasa. Ms. Obasa. Okay, that person will move to the bottom of the list. Mr. John Derogba? No? That person will move to the bottom of the list. The next person is Mr. Nwankwo. Mr. Nwankwo? Okay, that person will move to the bottom of the list. The next person is Mr. Ugundeli. Ugundeli. Would you like to present? Okay. The next person that I'm calling is Mrs. Najalita. Mrs. Najalita. Okay, that person will move to the bottom of the list. The next person is Mr. Chidumi. Mr. Chidumi, please. Please go ahead with your presentation.
Thank you, Chair, for this opportunity. Just to echo what my big brothers and sisters have said before. We thank you so much for this opportunity, and this is a very important bill to us for who we are, right? And everything we're doing in Manitoba, Nigerian community is large, and we are all doing all our best to contribute to the growth of the community Manitoba here, right? So we are so grateful, and just to say thank you very much. Thank you, Minister Asagwara, also for putting up this bill, and when it's being passed, we'll be happy and grateful. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you for your presentation. Does anyone have questions? Comment? Minister Asagwara?
Just want to say thank you for being here this evening, and thank you for sharing your remarks. Really appreciate that you made time to be here and speak on the bill. Thank you.
Oh, sorry, I need to recognize you. Pardon me. Mr. Chidumi?
Yeah, thank you so much, Honorable Minister, and we really appreciate all your effort. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Wonderful. Are there any other comments or questions? MLA King?
Thank you. And thank you for putting some words on record as well for the Nigerian community. Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much.
You, sorry, Mr. Tudumi, you can respond.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Wonderful. Are there any other questions? Thank you so much. I will move to the next person on the list, which is Mr. Chira. Is there a Mr. Chira here? Okay, the next, that person will move to the bottom of the list. We have Mr. Charles Obadina. Would you like to present? Thank you. The next person on the list is Odiren. Okay. Okay. Not here? Okay. Do I move him to the bottom of the list? Okay. That person will move to the bottom of the list. Next person we have is Vera Obihi Kieti.
On the list twice.
Oh, yeah, right?
She's on the list twice.
Apologies, of course, that person has spoken. The next person is Bunmi Ediemi. Bunmi Ediemi. Okay, that person will move to the bottom of the list. Next person being Mrs. Adu. Mrs. Adu? Yes. Welcome. Thank you so much. You can begin your presentation.
Thank you so much for the honor. Sorry? Oh, okay. Can I go ahead?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you to the honorable members of this assembly for this opportunity. I am a board member of the Nigerian Association of Manitoba, and at 36 years old, I'm hoping I'm a youth. But I just wanted to speak for, younger Nigerians that have are growing up in an environment where they have to understand certain complexities and intersectionalities. I believe that this bill is going to help to give a sense of self-worth as they grow here. It's going to empower the community to be able to support and let them know that they are accepted and that they are welcome in this environment. I also wanted to say that just being in this building speaks a lot about everyone here. And I want to say thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you.
My apologies. Thank you so much for your presentation. Is there any questions? Minister Asagwara?
Thank you so much for your remarks. You spoke about, I think you're still considered a youth. I think so. We're not too far off in age. Maybe I'm a youth too. Thank you so much for your remarks. You spoke about the youth and the future and what this kind of representation means to them. And you spoke about what it means to be in this building. And those are all really, really important things to embrace in terms of why this bill even was brought forward in the first place. And so thank you for talking about the youth. Thank you for talking about the importance of taking up space in places like this. And thank you for speaking this evening.
You're able to respond.
Thank you all, and thank you to the Honorable Minister and Premier Uzoma Asagwara. We really appreciate the work that you all are doing. And I want to let you know that we are, there's a lot of us that are interested in the political environment, and we are paying attention. So this is amazing, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there, okay, MLA Lagase?
Okay, so as I've said earlier, and I've said it to a few people, thank you so much for being here this evening. I'm just, as you can tell by the smile on my face, I'm very pleased that we're able to cross party lines and just bring this forward for you guys. So thank you so much for your presentation this evening.
You're able to respond.
I really appreciate your interest, and I want you to know that you all are respected by all of us in this room. Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Wonderful. Thank you so much for your presentation. I'll now move to the last person on the list, which is Christian Onwukewi. Christian Onwukewi? No? Okay, so I will go through. That concludes the list. So is there anyone in the room that's present who has not been called to present who would like to present? Okay, so I will go through the list one more time. When I read the name, if the person isn't here, they will be struck from the list. Mrs. Adetu, Mrs. Agbaji, Ms. Olivia Onimanu, please come forward. Welcome. Please go ahead with your presentation.
My name is Olivia, and I'm representing the University of Manitoba Nigerian Students Association as the president of the Student Club. As the previous speaker has pointed out, the population of Nigerian students in Manitoba is quite large. We are grateful for this privilege and the opportunity to be educated in Manitoba. We are very happy to be here today to show our solidarity with the elders of the community. As an international student, I feel represented and more welcome because leaving a place I have always known as home to a foreign land is scary and overwhelming. However, I am proud to say Winnipeg, Manitoba is my home, and it is with great joy to see that our independence is given the chance to be celebrated far away from home. We look forward to making a greater contribution to Manitoba and Canada, and once again, thank you to the Honorable Minister Uzoma Asogwar for giving the international student community and other Nigerian immigrants to celebrate their culture.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Are there questions? Minister Asogwar?
Ms. Onyemenu, thank you so much for taking the time to be here this evening. Thank you for being such a great student representative and for speaking so clearly at this committee this evening. It means a lot that your voice as an international student, as a younger person, adult, is here with us to speak to the importance of this bill to you. So thank you for taking the time. Really appreciate your words being on the record tonight.
Ms. Onimanu, you're allowed to respond.
Thank you for representing the community, and I'm very happy to witness this today.
Wonderful. Any other comments, questions? MLA King?
Thank you. And Olivia, if I may, thank you for your comments. Thank you for being here. Hearing from the youth is very important, or the younger generation. You're the future of your community and your Nigerian association and your students. So yeah, it's great to hear from you, and thank you for being here.
You're able to respond.
Thank you for the kind words.
Any other comments or questions? Thank you so much. I would like to say that the person who is number one on the list, Mrs. Adetu, was wanting to present virtually. However, due to technical difficulties, we're unable to accommodate that. The clerk has reached out to Mrs. Dededu and asked if there is any information that they would like to pass along. And certainly if anything comes through, the clerk will ensure that the members of the committee receive that information. Thank you. So moving on to the next person on our list, which would be Mr. Ogunmalo. Okay. The next person is Edilola Ibioi. Oh, that person will be struck from the list, pardon me. Mr. Aroma Sodu, would you like to present? Please go ahead with your presentation.
Good evening. My name is Taiwo. I'm the Vice President of the Nigerian Association of Nigerians in Manitoba. Just like to appreciate what you guys are doing. Minister Asagura, thank you for passing this bill, and also we would like to appreciate what Manitoban governments are doing, because Manitoba as a whole, they've accommodated most of us, and if you look at most of the provinces in Canada, Manitoba is one of the provinces that really accommodates immigrants, and Nigerians are most beneficiaries and in this program, which it's something that really showcases our culture. Passing of this bill, it's going to showcase more of our culture in terms of our food, which most of us know about the orange rice. Also, in terms of sports, we've been contributing so much to sport development, and also our professions. Most of us we came in from Nigeria down to this country, also to this province, and we have been contributing to the development of this Manitoba, and we would like this bill to be passed, and for the citizens and also for our children that are coming up to know that they accepted us, because it is called Friendly Manitoba, and we are being friendly and we are being accepted. And also back in our country, one of our motto is peace and unity. We are united. It's not about people in Winnipeg, but people all over Manitoba, in Brandon, Winkler, Thompson. We just want them to know that this bill, it's something that's going to benefit each and every one of us in celebrating our culture and our Independence Day.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Are there questions? Minister Osakwara?
Thank you, Mr. Aroma Sodu, for your presentation and for your leadership in the community. We appreciate very much that you made the time to speak here this evening. Thank you.
Mr. Aromasatu, you can respond.
Thank you, Minister Asagura, for also championing this bill, and we really appreciate the good work you're doing. Thank you very much.
Other comments? Question? MLA Lagasse?
There hasn't been any questions tonight, but more of a thanks. Thank you very much for your presentation this evening.
Are there any other? Oh, sorry, pardon me. You can respond to the comment if you wish.
Yeah, thank you for accepting us to be part of you.
Wonderful. Any other questions? Thank you so much. We'll move to the next presenter on the list, which is Mr. Ebenezer Fatimihan. Okay, thank you so much. That person is struck from the list. We have the next person on the list, Reverend Sunday Alukoju. No, that person is struck from the list. Moving on, we have Kenny Deadu. No, that person is struck from the list. The next person is Ms. Adiola Abasa. No, okay, that person is struck from the list. Mr. John Aderogupa. That person is struck from the list. The next person is Mr. Nwanko. That person is struck from the list. The next person is Mr. Ogundele. That person has been struck from the list. Moving on, we have Mrs. Najalita. Okay, that person is struck. The next person is Mr. Chima Shira. That person has been struck from the list. The next person is Odiran Oki. Okay, that person has been struck from the list. The next person is Mr. Charles Abedina. Thank you. That person has been struck from the list. The next person is Bunmi Ediemi. That person has been struck from the list. And the last person here is Christian Onwikwe. Thank you. That person has been struck from the list. That concludes the list of presenters I have before me. In what order does the committee wish to proceed with clause-by-clause consideration of these bills?
Line by line.
Minister Asagwara?
Line by line.
Just which number of them?
Oh, which number? You can go, do you have a preference, Minister? We don't have to start with 22, or do we start with 22?
Start with the one you want. Your suggestion to the committee, the committee agrees.
Oh, yours? Okay, we'll start with, maybe we'll do,
Minister Asagwara?
yeah, we could do 13 first and then go to 22 and then, yeah? Okay, we'll do Bill 13 first and then we'll go to Bill 22. Is that okay?
Is it the will of the committee to proceed in numerical order? Agreed. Okay. We will now proceed with clause by clause of Bill 13. Does the minister responsible for Bill 13 have an opening statement?
I do.
Minister Asagwara, we thank the minister. The Honourable Minister Asagwara.
Thank you. I can move after, right? Statement and then move after.
So 10 minutes later.
Okay. Okay, Bill 13 is required to enable in the longer term a new service model that has been adopted for one air emergency medical response system based on a 10-year agreement signed in 2023 in which the air platform and the medical care on transports will be operated by two different entities. This bill will also provide flexibility if the model is changed in the future to allow more than two different entities to be licensed to operate different parts of an air emergency medical response system. The license holders will be required to enter into an agreement to define the responsibilities in respect of the the operation of the air emergency medical response system to ensure that it will function as one cohesive system. Finally, this bill will provide for greater transparency in relation to ministerial orders issued under the Act to exempt the license holder from requirements in the legislation by requiring that the orders must be published on a government website.
We thank the minister. Does the critic from the official opposition have an opening statement? No? Okay, we thank the members. During the consideration of a bill, the enacting clause and the title are postponed until all other clauses have been considered in their proper order. Also, if there is agreement from the committee, the chair will call clauses in blocks that conform to pages, with the understanding that we will stop at any particular clause or clauses where members may have comments, questions, or amendments to propose. Is that agreed? Agreed and so ordered. Shall clauses 1 and 2 pass?
Pass.
Okay. Clauses 1 and 2 are accordingly passed. Shall clause 3 pass?
Pass.
Clause 3 is accordingly passed. Shall clauses 4 and 5 pass?
Pass.
Clauses 4 and 5 are accordingly passed. Shall clauses 6 through 11 pass?
Pass.
Clauses 6 through 11 are accordingly passed. Shall clause 12 pass?
Pass.
Clause 12 is accordingly passed. Shall clause 13 pass?
Pass.
Clause 13 is accordingly passed. Shall clause 13, pardon me. Clause 13 is accordingly passed. Shall clause 14 pass?
Pass.
Clause 14 is accordingly passed. Shall the enacting clause pass?
Pass.
The enacting clause is accordingly passed. Shall the title pass?
Pass.
The title is accordingly passed. Shall the bill be reported? Agreed. The bill shall be reported. Does the minister responsible for Bill 22 have an opening statement?
Yes.
Minister Asakwara?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to everyone who made the time to be here this evening to speak on Bill 22. The celebration of Nigerian Independence Day Act is a historic piece of legislation. It is going to be the first of its kind in the country, I believe across North America, and it is the direct result of decades of leadership and advocacy of Nigerians in our community here in Manitoba. And I think it's also important to recognize that it also reflects the advocacy and efforts of Nigerians in Nigeria. And so I want to thank everyone who shared. I want to thank especially Dr. Onyebuchi. You have known me my whole life. Dr. Onyebuchi has known me since I was a baby. I can confirm that. And I think it was so powerful to hear from everyone in terms of what this means for the elders in our communities, but what it means for the future of our communities in Manitoba. We do live in a province where bringing people together is fundamental to how our province advances and how communities advance. And so I want to thank everyone for being here tonight and celebrating what it means to be one Manitoba. And I look forward to the ongoing work to make sure that all Manitobans benefit from the celebration of this bill. Thank you.
We thank the minister. Does the critic from the official opposition have an opening statement? MLA Lagacé?
So as I stated earlier, it's quite a privilege to be part of these kinds of legislation pieces. And as the critic, I was quite excited when this came across my desk. I'm going to just reflect some of what the minister said. It's fantastic. This is your bill. This belongs to you guys. And I'm thankful to be a part of it. And I'll leave it at that.
We thank the member. During the consideration of a bill, the enacting clause and the title are postponed until all other clauses have been considered in their proper order. Shall Clause 1 pass?
Pass.
Clause 1 is accordingly passed. Shall Clause 2 pass?
Pass.
Clause 2 is accordingly passed. Shall Clause 3 pass?
Pass.
Clause 3 is accordingly passed. Shall the enacting clause pass?
Pass.
The enacting clause is accordingly passed. Shall the title pass?
Pass.
The title is accordingly passed. Shall the bill be reported?
Agreed.
The bill shall be reported.
Bob summed it up. It's good to be part of history. Even though.
One moment, I would like to address the crowd. Sincerely, I apologize if I mispronounced anyone's name today. I genuinely apologize, and congratulations. We will now move on to clause-by-clause consideration of Bill 23. Does the minister responsible for Bill 23 have an opening statement?
She does.
Minister Naylor?
Thank you, Chair. I'm pleased to be here tonight at committee for Bill 23, the Change of Name Amendment Act 2. Currently in Manitoba, any person who has resided in Manitoba for at least 3 months and who is 18 or older is eligible to apply to Vital Statistics to legally change their name. Bill 23 will introduce restrictions so that convicted sex offenders are prohibited from legally changing their name in Manitoba. This change will correct a gap in our legislation and address concerns brought forward by victims and advocates. Other jurisdictions across Canada, such as Ontario, Nova Scotia, Saskatchewan, Alberta, and Newfoundland and Labrador, have all made similar changes to bar convicted sex offenders from changing their names. By enacting Bill 23, we're aligning with other provinces and ensuring that Manitoba will not be a safe haven for sex offenders among Canadian provinces. We've also learned from other provinces' experiences with their legislation, specifically their issues with setting offenses in legislation as opposed to in regulation, like Bill 23 does. We have seen examples in other jurisdictions where the province wants to add or amend the list of designated offenses, but then they would have to bring forward a whole new bill to do so. This would become cumbersome and can take a long time, which is why we've chosen to set offenses in regulation. Bill 23 will also bar people convicted of some non-sex related crimes from changing their names as well. Examples that could be set in regulation could be first-degree murder, kidnapping, enforceable confinement, or other similar serious crimes that will be looked at through the regulation process. In practice, all change of name applicants will have to obtain a certified criminal record check, including fingerprinting, to confirm their eligibility. If this record check comes back with a hit for a designated offense, the application will be denied. Our government is a listening government, and Bill 23 is just one way we're taking action to make sure Manitobans feel safer in their communities. I'm pleased that Bill 23 passed second reading unanimously, and I look forward to it receiving royal assent in the near future. Thank you, Chair.
We thank the minister. Does the critic from the official opposition have an opening statement? Thank you. MLA Lagasse?
Yeah, as mentioned, thank you, Minister, for your words there and mentioning that we, of course, would unanimously support this bill. Thank you.
Wonderful. We thank the member. During the consideration of a bill, the enacting clause and the title are postponed until all other clauses have been considered in their proper order. Shall Clause 1 pass? Clause 1 is accordingly passed. Shall Clause 2 pass?
Pass.
Clause 2 is accordingly passed. Shall Clause 3 pass?
Pass.
Clause 3 is accordingly passed. Shall Clause 4 pass?
Pass.
Clause 4 is accordingly passed. Shall Clause 5 pass?
Pass.
Clause 5 is accordingly passed. Shall Clause 6 pass?
Pass.
Clause 6 is accordingly passed. Shall Clause 7 pass?
Pass.
Clause 7 is accordingly passed. Shall the enacting clause pass? The enacting clause is accordingly passed. Shall the title pass?
Pass.
The title is accordingly passed. Shall the bill be reported?
Agreed.
The bill shall be reported. This concludes the business of the committee. The hour being 7:44. What is the will of the committee? Committee rise.